What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about a man who I had no clue existed until a few days ago. A man named Donald Harvey. It turns out Donald Harvey might just be the most prolific serial killer in U.S. history, and I had no clue who he was. So here's how I found out about Donald Harvey. After my last video posted, my cousin sent me a message, and he's like, dude, you got to check out a guy named Donald Harvey. And he's from the town I live in, or he worked in the town I lived in. He's responsible for killing a lot of people. You got to check out Donald Harvey. And I was like, okay, I've never heard of this guy. So I just Googled his name. And then what I found is just sadistic and crazy. He was a cold-blooded killer. He very well could be America's most prolific serial killer. Donald Harvey was an American serial killer and hospital employee who claimed to have killed 87 people from 1970 until 1987. He described himself as an angel of death. Donald Harvey was born in 1952 in Butler County, Ohio, and he was described as a loner as a child, but he seemed to be well liked by adults. He did reveal that sometime during his childhood he was sexually abused by his uncle and another adult male. And at the age of 16, Donald Harvey dropped out of high school and obtained a GED sometime shortly after. Then in 1970, at the age of 18, Harvey moved to London, Kentucky, where he obtained a job as an orderly at Marymount Hospital. And he later admitted, while employed there, he killed at least 12 people in the first 10 months of working. Harvey insisted that he began killing out of empathy for the terminally ill, but he would later also confess that many killings came out of anger. The full extent of his crimes may never be known, since he did go so long under the radar from 1970 until 1987. And during this time, Harvey used many methods to kill, including arsenic, cyanide, suffocation, poisoning people, disconnecting ventilators. He even injected people with hepatitis B, and even one time injected someone with the HIV virus. And this one makes me shiver to think about it. But one time, he inserted a wire coat hanger into a person's catheter, and it caused an abdominal rupture. Most of Donald Harvey's killings took place three places: Marymount Hospital in London, Kentucky, a VA hospital in Cincinnati, and then another hospital in Cincinnati called Drake Memorial Hospital. But Harvey didn't limit his victims to just hospital patients. His friends and lovers weren't safe from Harvey's destructive path either. When he suspected his lover, Carl Howell, of cheating on him, he began poisoning him so he would be too ill to leave their apartment. He would also go on later to kill Carl Howell's father. Harvey, what's so crazy about this to me is he was able to fly under the radar for 17 years, killing people under the guise of his work. You know, he worked at hospitals, and for 17 years he just left a destructive path of death and mayhem. But in March of 1987, an autopsy was performed on a guy named John Powell, who happened to have been under Donald Harvey's care. And Powell had been on life support for quite some time due to a motorcycle accident. He seemed to be making progress, and then he dies. Then after that, Harvey becomes a person of interest. And one of the reasons he became a person of interest was that police had discovered that he had been fired from a previous job at the VA hospital for stealing body parts to use them for occult rituals. But now, Harvey confesses to the killing of John Powell, claiming he euthanized him. So now, after Harvey confessed to murdering John Powell, a news anchor in Cincinnati decides to investigate some into Harvey's past. He doesn't believe Harvey is just a one-off killer. And after some investigating, he discovered spikes in death rates everywhere Harvey worked at. And he was able to amass enough evidence to link Harvey to 24 murders in a 4-year span of time. So now it's August of 1987, and Harvey has admitted to killing, by his estimate, at least 70 people. So he strikes up a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. But the prosecutors fix the plea deal that if more murders from Harvey come to light, they can seek the death penalty. And with that plea deal in mind, Harvey went ahead and confessed to killing at least 9 patients while working at Marymount Hospital in the 70s. Overall, Harvey ended up pleading guilty to 37, but later confessed 50. Some people who have researched this case say he may have even amassed over 100 kills. That is a crazy statistic, if true, but no way to prove it. Harvey was then sent to the Toledo Correctional Institute on October 26, 1987, where he would remain until March 28, 2017, when Harvey was found severely beaten in his cell. And 2 days later, on March 30th, he died. And fellow inmate James Elliott was convicted of his murder. James Elliott beat Donald Harvey to death in their cell. No matter how you want to go about it, Donald Harvey was an evil, sadistic serial killer. And whether he killed 20 people or over 100, that amount is just staggering regardless. And up until a few days ago, I had no clue who he was. I've never heard of this guy, but he's got a kill count that outnumbers a lot of different serial killers. So the story of Donald Harvey runs pretty deep, and it's truly unknown what happened between 1970 and 87 that we don't know about. So there's a lot of good information. If you're into stuff like this, go research it. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and remember what we say to the God of Death. Maybe tomorrow.